Now I'm going to tell you the one thing you must do, and it boils down to this. This will solve every ministry challenge, every ministry issue that you have. I want to share with you 12 things I've learned from 12 years as pastor of a church at Awakening House of Prayer. It's our 12th year anniversary. Come on, I got 12 lessons for you. Number 7, don't worry about small crowds. If you're just starting in ministry, you're going to have a small crowd. Sometimes you actually have a real big launch and then the crowd diminishes because you got a lot of looky-loos. Don't worry about how many people are in the room. One thing that I've learned to do is I'm going to preach fire. I'm going to teach as if I've got 1 million people there because I'm actually teaching for the Lord, not to Him. He doesn't need to know what I know. He's teaching me. But I preach as if I've got just 1 million people there. Why? Because I want to give my best. I want to lay my life down. The scripture says, those who are faithful over a little, I'll make them ruler over much. So don't worry about if there's 3 people that show up. You know, those 3 people, pour into them. And as you do it, as you're faithful, God will bring you more. He won't bring you more people if you're not stewarding what you have the right way.
God told me and my family to move here from California 3 years ago. To come here to be equipped and to be trained in this house. We were received, loved, poured into, trained, equipped. It wasn't anything that we had expected coming here. We've been delivered, healed. I'm not just speaking for myself, but for my children, my family, my mom. We've been set free of so many things.
All right, number 8, whatever you do, don't let Jezebel get a foothold in the ministry because that Jezebel spirit is very hard to get out. So get equipped, learn to understand how the Jezebel spirit operates so that you don't fall prey to it. By the way, pick up my book, Jezebel's Intercessors. You're going to need that. All right, number 9, don't use gimmicks to get people in the building. Really. You're not a used car salesman. It won't last. Whatever gimmick you're using to get people in the building, they're just coming with that mentality. So it'll backfire on you in the end. You might have a big crowd in the beginning, but don't use gimmicks. Just preach the pure word of God. You know, if you set yourself on fire, people will watch you burn. You don't need all the gimmicks. You don't need all the secular connections, and you don't need all that. If God doesn't build it, if God doesn't build it, you labor in vain, right? So let God build it. Don't use gimmicks. Build on the Word of God, not on gimmicks. All right, number 10, don't be a people pleaser. The bottom line is if you preach messages or you teach messages to try to win hearts to you, you're in it for the wrong reasons. We want to win hearts for God. However, sometimes winning a heart for God, truly for God, means conviction has to fall. So if you choose to preach just what people will hear, then you're going to be one of those ear ticklers that Paul talked about. We don't want that. We want to build the ministry on the integrity of the Word of God, not to please man. Paul said if I were setting out to please man, I wouldn't be a bondservant of God. So we need to, I'm not saying to be offensive, but we need to be a people who seek to please God over man at every turn. Because if God's not pleased, you don't have a ministry. You're not one that you're going to want to tell anybody about or one that's going to survive or be sustained. All right, number 11, don't compromise your values or your vision just because somebody makes you a better deal. People will come and say, if you do this, I'll give you that. If you choose to have this kind of service or stop saying these things, or, then I'll do this. And don't let anybody buy you. Don't compromise your values. Don't compromise your vision, because it's the vision of the Lord that He's going to sustain. Where God guides, He provides. But many people want to compromise their values because there's a wealthy family in the church, or compromise their mission, or shift it because, they'll be more popular, or because so-and-so is doing it. Don't compromise. Do not compromise. You'll be glad that you didn't. All right, now I've told you all the things not to do. Now I'm going to tell you the one thing you must do, and it boils down to this. This will solve every ministry challenge, every ministry issue that you have. I pray, I obey. pray and obey what God says, and you'll have a successful ministry. It might not be a mega ministry. It might not be what you envisioned at first. But if you follow God, you will hear him say on that day, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." All right, this is 12 years. I can't wait to see what God does next. Come to Awakening House of Prayer or watch our services online at ahop.online, ahop.online. Blessings.
And I thank you, Apostle Jennifer, for your love. I honor you, respect you. Thank you for your sacrifice, for everything that you're doing. Thank you. Congratulations on 12 years.